Welcome back. In this set of videos, we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting rational expressions. As a reminder, a rational expression is a ratio of two polynomial expressions. So these are going to be fractions, and we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting fractions. So as we are looking at adding and subtracting fractions with monomials or polynomials in them, I think it's a good idea to start by just remembering how to add and subtract fractions. When we add and subtract fractions, a key piece is that we are looking for common denominators. Common denominators mean that I need to have the same denominator in both of these fractions in order for me to add them. Once I have a common denominator, I put both numerators can go over the same denominator and I can add them. So when I look at this first, I'm looking for a least common denominator. And I'm going to use a least common denominator of 6. So my least common denominator here is going to be 6. So that means I'm going to need to multiply my first term of 3/2 by a convenient value of 1 to make it have a denominator of 6, and that's 3/3, plus 5/3 times a convenient value of 1, which is 2/2. That gives me 9/6 plus 10/6. Which becomes 9 plus 10/6, or 19/6. If there was any simplifying that could be done, I would do it at that point. Now, in this case here, I have 4 terms that I am adding and subtracting together. So I'm looking for my least common denominator for all of these, which means what's the least multiple of all of these things. So I've got 12. 3 goes into 12, so 12 includes 3. 6 goes into 12, so 12 includes 6. And 2 goes into 12, so 12 includes 6. So 12 is going to be my least common denominator. That means I'm going to need to multiply this term by 4/4, and this term by 2/2, and this term by 6/6 to get that common denominator. So that makes my first term 5/12. My next term will be 32/12 minus 2/12 plus 54/12. So I can make this 5 plus 32 minus 2 plus 54 all over 12. And if I go to my calculator for this, I have 5 plus 32 minus 2 plus 54 gives me 89/12. 89 is not divisible by 3 or 4, or 2, so 89 and 12 can't be simplified at all, so that is my answer. When I'm looking at 15/4 and minus 8/35, and I'm looking for my least common denominator, 4 and 35 have no factors in common, so the least common denominator is 4 times 35, which is 140. So I have a least common denominator here of 140. So to 15/4, I'm going to need to multiply that by 35/35, and 8/35, I'm going to need to multiply that by 4/4. So 15 times 35 is 525 divided by 140, minus 8 times 4 is 32/140, or 525 minus 32/140, which gives me, so 525 minus 32 is 493 divided by 140. So 140 is divisible by 7. Let's see if 493 is also. It is not. Let's see if 493 is not going to be divisible by 2. Or 5. So 493/140 is my simplified answer.